Hey YouTube, it's Elvis Ammo here. Hey, today I'm standing in the rain talking to you guys. It's raining here in the upstate of South Carolina. Of course, there's a big storm out there and it's raining in a lot of places. But I'm not going to let that stop us. We need rain here, and I'm going to celebrate by showing it how much I appreciate it. And I'm sure that you guys will appreciate it as well, because today we are going to do a continuation of our ballistic testing, and I'm going to use the same 223 ammo that we loaded in previous videos and have tested in the ballistic gel. Except today I've been asked many questions and got many requests for, you know, shooting through plywood, and I had comments like, in the real world, shooting through bone and cartilage, things would be completely different. And I know that that they're right, things are completely different. I don't know how different, but we're going to find out today. So we decided that we would shoot through bone and cartilage. This right here, my friends, is a fine serving of pork ribs. Alright, so I picked out a good thick section, and they're defrosted. They're not body temperature, but here they are. A nice rack of pork ribs, and we're going to stack it in the front of this ballistic gel, and we're going to shoot it with the same round that went into this gel and landed at about 17 inches in a beautiful mushroom that I suggested, and many of you would be a great self-defense round. And what we want to find out is, you know, will it put down Mr. Piggy or even a zombie? So we're going to shoot through this. It's going to be bone side against the gel, meat side on the outside that we're shooting into, and I think that'll be a pretty good representation of whether we can get through a set of ribs for Mr. Piggy and find a vital. So I think I have this arranged. So I haven't tried fastening this to the gel yet, but I'm hoping I'll do a good job to hold it still so we can get through this testing. I'm using the gel that we used the last time. Kind of cleared it up a little bit. It looked like we had some room left in it. So what we're going to do is we are going to fasten that. I'm going to tie it with some wire, and then we're going to shoot it with this is factory ammo. So we're going to compare it to factory ammo, and we're going to compare that to, this is the stuff that we had been shooting, running at 2,500 feet per second. We think that this 2,500 feet per second is kind of an ideal speed for expansion, for the hardness of this round and for the speed. So let's see if this is an option going through cartilage and bone. And then, you know, just to understand what we have, this is just your Wolf Gold, runs at about 3,200 feet per second, 3,100 feet per second, whatever that is coming out of your rifle. That's just Wolf Gold. It's a good round. It shoots pretty accurate, and it's inexpensive. I like that for plinking and collecting and that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to strap this meat to the gel, and I got to figure out how to do that exactly. I kind of had an idea. I didn't try it yet, but I'd kind of set it up so that I could wrap it around some screws that I'd already preset, and and I'm going to wrap it nice and tight to the other set of screws that I have already preset, and hopes that this is going to hold it. That's on there pretty decent. Alright, so that's pretty decent there. Let's get one at the bottom. I'm gonna put it all the way to this one. And then we're gonna wrap it nice and tight. I think this worked out pretty good. We'll see for sure in the real world, right? That's pretty decent. I might have enough to come back around one more time. It don't hurt because we know that there's going to be a lot of energy going into this meat, and but I kind of suspect that most of the energy will be inside of this, and that's why I put a 4x4 on top, and I strapped with some aluminum electric fencing. Strap this all down so it don't jump off of the perch here. So I'm hoping that this is going to work, but I wanted us to see this meat nice and clear what happens to it. It feels like it's on there pretty good. It's wired tight, okay? So here we go. Let's first thing we're going to do is we're going to shoot our powder coated cast lead 223 round, running 2,500 feet per second. The same stuff that we fired in the previous videos, and let's see what it does. I'm going to zoom you guys in here. That might be good. I think that'll work. Okay. First off, homebrew 223. I may have to fire more than one shot. Let's see. Fire and hold. What did we get? Oh boy. Okay. We definitely completely destroyed that piece of meat there. Look at that. Blew out the back of that, completely blew out the back of that rib. Went in, not very far, fragmented, and right there is where the bullet landed, about 12 inches in. we're going to hit that one more time with our homebrew. Wow, that was quite the impact there. We're going to hit it one more time with our homebrew. Our bullet landed right here. Made a nasty entrance here. And I don't know how much of the lead is left. It looks like most of it. Let's hit it one more time for good measure before we put a factory round in it. Oh wow, looks like I hit pretty close to the same place, unfortunately. You can see all the meat inside of it, and the bullet ended up at about 17 inches right here. So that's pretty interesting. We'll see what we see when we get into this. But boy, this is really destroyed. Very interesting. I even broke the wire on that one. So some of the suggestions that I had got was that you know, the bullet on impact would just you know, pretty much explode. It certainly did explode more than, you know, than we normally had seen, which that's obvious. So now we'll go ahead and hit it with a factory round and see what we can see. I'm wondering, I think that'll be okay. I think it will. Yeah, we got a pretty good hold on it here. Okay, I'm gonna put a factory round in there. Let's see what the difference is. I'm getting pork all over my rifle. Alright, fire in the hole. Oh wow. Well, I don't know where that bullet went, but one thing for certain, this is the meat hanging off. This will be the last time I show you the meat. This is where the lead hit it. This is where the factory round. Let me see. This is where the factory round got it right here. That's where the lead hit it. The lead factory round. So I don't know, you guys can tell me if this is still good to eat or not. So, you know, it looks to me like the factory round is right there. It went as far as my lead load, because this is the second homebrew that I shot right here. The first shot fell down here at the bottom and left a trail of destruction. The factory round is right there, and so let's dissect this cat and see what we've got. Okay, so what we have here is, like I said before, all the devastation happened within 7 inches of this ballistic gel. Okay, that's where the wide path happened, and it looked like that was true with all 3 bullets. They kind of acted the same. Now you guys can be the judge of that when you see the footage. But they all seem to act the same. I'm a little surprised. Some of you guys are going to say, I wasn't surprised, I knew that was going to happen. And let me just say that you know, I had some comments, you know, and you know, in some of the comments, one of the comments that described what I'm doing, I really liked. Someone said, thank you for your scientific spirit, and I just want to say that really summed things up. That's what I'm not a professional, I'm not a scientist, but in the spirit of science, that's what we're doing here. We're finding out, you know, what these bullets do. A lot of us want to know, you know, are these cast bullets? Are they, you know, is it the real deal? You know, is this something we can use? You know, and you guys are going to be able to determine, you know, whether this is something you can use or not. So anyway, with all 3 of the rounds, every time we fired, it looked to me like, when I come over here to look at it, it looked like all the devastation. It looks like a trail of debris right here. This bullet, the first shot, was right here at the bottom, and it did seem to leave a bigger chunk right there. So I'm thinking it's possible that it may have hit more bone maybe than the other rounds, and that kind of thing. And we'll take a look at the meat too in a minute. So this was the factory round right here, and it went about 11.5 inches. This one landed at about 11 inches, and you have a little pattern of debris in here that it left behind. But on the second round that I shot of our homebrew, it landed at 17 inches again, just like the one did in the last test, at 17 inches. Now it looks smaller. It looks to me like the bullet hit the meat and bone, it mushroomed and left this devastation, but then the mushroom broke off as it traveled further down the line. And so we're gonna pull these bullets out, and we're gonna weigh them and just see how much weight they lost and see what the difference was. But first of all, I'll go ahead and I'll show you that piece of meat. I didn't get a chance to look at it myself either to see if you know, did it hit the bone, did it miss the bone, did it get some bone. Let's take a look at that, because you guys are going to say, well, it went right between the ribs, you know, or it glanced off, or this. And you guys are right for saying that and thinking that. Let's just see for certain. I don't know myself. Let's take a look at it. I'm going to grab this meat. So I'm gonna suit up with some gloves. I'm gonna bring you guys out just a little bit here, and we're gonna just take a look at this. So here we go. You know, I had it wrapped in cellophane, and unfortunately, you know, I'd put 2 of the lead rounds real close here at the bottom, and you guys can see this. Look, see that this rib bone is actually been chopped in half by one or the other of the lead. I'm assuming that it's possible that the second round may have went between the bone, and this first round actually broke the bone. You can see right here, this is the bone that's been shot in half. Right here. It's broke right in half, this bone is. Alright? And I'm assuming that the second round missed it, and the reason I say that is because I know that I shot a little bit higher, and right here you can see this is the bone. On the second round, it glanced off of this bone right here. See, it left an indent right here in the bone and went under it. Alright, and now that was the round that landed at 17 inches. Alright, so we skint the bone right here. It broke inside a little bit right there. You can see that. And the first bone the first bullet went through this bone. So then the factory round went through in between the bone. It don't look like, I don't feel any broken or skint bone. And it still only went to here, which is a half of an inch farther than the first shot. Alright, so, and that, it went through, you know, a pretty good thick piece of meat there. I wonder if I can eat the rest of this. It's a shame to do. Maybe what I'll do before I destroy this is, some of you guys have been asking, you know, about doing the same thing with the 9mm. Maybe I'll go ahead and do another video with the 9mm and see what it does through this. We'll see. But for right now, let's finish what we're doing. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what we have here. We're going to go ahead and we'll take them out in order. The first shot was down here. Probably be easier to get it from underneath. Alright, this is interesting, folks. Very interesting. Okay, you see the blue powder coating on it. That's the first bullet. It went in at 11 inches. There's the front of it. That's the front of it. There's the mushroom. Alright, so I think it looks like it mushroomed pretty good and then lost some of the edges as it traveled. and we'll go ahead and weigh this first one. Brought my scale right out here. Rub it on here. "31 grains. 31 grains out of 55. Alright? So we lost what? 14 grains got left behind, right? Am I doing that math right? What did I say it was? 31? Yeah. Alright. So 24 grains got left behind. So we lost 24 grains on this one. So we'll set this aside. And now the second round landed right here. So we're going to go for it. That'd be easier to remove that. Fun, fun, fun. Come on out of there, you. It takes a little bit of holding your mouth just right. Alright, there's the second round. There it is right there. See the powder coating on it. Now this one is a little smaller because it went farther, so it lost more material. There it is. Not easy to hang on to. Just the front of it. So let's weigh this one. $25.5. So this one lost a little more, about 30. Alright, about 30. So it lost about 6 more grains than the first one did. 6 more grains. 25.5 on the second bullet. It traveled longer distance. That makes sense that it would lose a little more material. Alright, so now let's check this factory round out. This is kind of interesting to me. It is that I was thinking that this factory round was going to cruise through this thing at the speed it has with a copper jacket on it. So let's see. I think it's going to be easier for me to get it from the other side. This is pretty interesting here. Not easy to get out, but pretty interesting stuff. There we go. Okay. Huh. Wow. What do we have here? Okay. This is not what I expected. Now, however, I did destroy it a bit, pulling it out of there. All right. Now this piece of lead was inside of this jacket, and it popped out of there as I was pulling the bullet out. Now this is the jacket, and this is a 55 grain bullet as well. This is the lead that was left in it. I was just trying to, that right there is a piece of blue lead, has powder coating on it, so we're going to throw that away. I was trying to get a little bit of this gel out so we can weigh it. But check this out. I mean, this is the jacket and the lead right there. Alright, quite destroyed. So let's go ahead and weigh it. I'm weighing jacket and lead, you know, both together, because it's a 55 grain bullet. Okay, so it retained a little bit more of its weight. This one is at 34 grains, 34.2 grains. All right. So we lost, you know, 20 or 22 grains or so of material on that one. So it's kind of a wash. Basically went the same distance, and you know, is pretty darn close to the same weight, you know, in the end. So you guys can decide on what you've seen here, what you observed, but you know, I'm always surprised by these tests. I always learn something, and I'm sure that in real life, when you shoot something, every time you shoot something, there's going to be a little different reaction in real life. You know, you're going to hit more bone, less bone, and all of those things. You know, if you're hog hunting or deer hunting, or if a zombie happens up on you and you gotta put that thing out. You know, so anyway, you know, that pretty much concludes, you know, this test. You know, very interesting. I'll be honest with you. It's just, you know, every time we do this, I learn something new. But I'm really surprised. Some of you guys have said, you know, that bullet's going to just shatter. Now, one of the most intelligent comments that I have got was, you know, as far as detail and detailed information on, you know, arguing what happens and that kind of thing. In real life testing and in testing with FBI ballistics gel, was one of the best comments came from a girl. So I'm just saying, guys, you guys need to tighten up a little bit, because these girls are outdoing you on these comments. Hey, YouTube, this has been, you know, just an awesome test. We got to see what it does to bone and cartilage and meat into the gel, the distance that it will travel. It's up to you to decide now in the comments, and let me know, so that I'll be informed, because some of you guys certainly know more than I do. That's for certain. So what I'll say is, you know, let me know what you think. You know, is after going through bone, cartilage, and meat, is you know, when you make 11 inches of distance beyond that, and in some cases 17, you know, once you get inside of the bone and meat, like for instance, if you're going hog hunting, you're getting through that rib cage into a vital organ. Will 11 inches do it, or does it require the 17 inches of the second round? Because in my opinion, this cast lead going at 2,500 feet per second did a little bit better. And maybe you guys know why. Maybe because it's traveling a little bit slower. The cast lead is certainly a lot harder. It may be harder than some of you guys think that are commenting on what this lead is capable of. I'll just reiterate that I'm measuring, you know, around BHN 22 on these, so that you know. And these are traveling at 2,500 versus factory round traveling at around, depending on what you're shooting it out of, 3,200 feet per second with a jacket, but they're, you know, very soft lead inside of them. So anyway, you guys maybe can help me, and what I'll probably do, because a lot of you guys are asking about it, is I think maybe I will go ahead and shoot some 9mm in another video into the meat, into the gel, just because a lot of you guys want to know that one. But I have some cool stuff coming up. I have some really cool stuff coming up. I have ordered, and I'd already said this in another video, I'd ordered a round flat nose 9mm, and it's taken forever to get here. I have no idea why, but when I get it, that's going to be interesting, doing this same kind of testing in the ballistic gel with that round, because right now these 9mm are just getting way too much distance, not enough devastation. But that's what some of you guys are asking about. Well, will it go through plywood into the ballistic gel? Will it mushroom? We're going to find out in another video. YouTube, it's been awesome. Let me know what you think, and we will continue this kind of testing. I'll see you in the next video.